What is up, YouTube? If we have not yet met, my name is Johnny Nitafan, and in this video, what I want to share with you is what if I could go back to talk to myself a year ago, because I'm approaching my year of being an insurance agent. What would I share with myself? What are some lessons that I learned? What are some things that I wish I could go back on and change? And I'm going to actually share a few things with you. Be super honest, vulnerable, and so if you haven't already, go like, subscribe and share this with a friend if you find it valuable. So, the first few things that I want to share with you in this video is honestly like I didn't get enough in front of enough people, and so I've started to establish the framework of you have to sell a policy a day. You have to get to a policy a day. However, you can get there, whether it's you have to track your dials, track your metrics, track your numbers, but like you have to get in front of enough people to have a healthy cash flow. Because what I would learned is that if you are able to make a sale a day, if you're able to constantly get in front of prospects, you're going to have a great cash flow to more invest in yourself, into your skill, and also you're going to be able to get through that learning curve faster. And so for me, when I first started, like honestly, I was not getting in front of enough people. And so if you're a new agent just starting out or just kind of struggling, you have to get in front of more people. You have to do revenue generating activities. That's kind of the theme and topic of this whole video, because if you're not doing the revenue generating activities, if you're trying to fold the laundry, if you're working from home and you're having to go out and run go get groceries, or if you're having to run errands for a party that you're throwing on Saturday or whatever it is, right? For you, you're not you're not really like working, and you're not really doing the revenue generating activities that you need to do to actually be successful. And so you're really pushing that learning curve out. I love this saying: if you want to make $10,000, how fast and you had to make 10,000 mistakes to do it, how fast would you do that? Would you take 6 years, 6 months, 6 days, or 6 hours to actually do that, to actually be able to start making $10,000 a month? Because the first six figures is honestly the hardest to make. And so the reason for that is because that's the learning curve. That's where the learning curve is. So you have to push, you have to actually do the work when you're just starting out. And so that's the biggest thing when I look back and say, okay, how could I have improved over the past year? Because my first year is actually coming up here on the 27th is when I wrote my first policy, and it's the 15th. That's what I would share is like, geez, like you need to get in front of more people. The second thing that I wish I could go back and if I could like share with myself, like give some advice to myself a year ago, is you're not smart. You're not great at selling. Like I started out, I got my license in November of 2021, a few months after I got married, and I honestly was just not good. Like I started off cold knocking door to door, and like yeah, door knocking door to door and trying to sell products to business owners. And that was honestly very challenging because one, it did not cash flow very well. It took me about 4 months to actually make a sale. But what I would say is like, I just wasn't smart, because then I got into the insurance industry in March of 2022, which was, yeah, last year. And I just wasn't good. I thought I was good. I tried to convince other people that I was better than I was. I just wasn't cash flowing. I wasn't doing like I wasn't good. Like I honestly did not make an I didn't it took me a while to go through that learning curve. Like I definitely would say that I it took me um a little bit shorter than what most people it takes most people. I made 400 dials my first day, set like 17 appointments my first couple days, set 21 appointments my first week, and four showed up. And what I realized in that time is that I honestly was not good enough. Like I just wasn't good. Like I wasn't making 10,000, even 10,000 a month. I was writing 30, 40, $50,000. And I was barely even making 10, 15 grand a month. And if I could go back, I'd just be like, there's so much more to learn. And when I was a new agent starting out, I was just so short term focused. And so this led me to actually expand my time horizon a lot more to I'm going to be great years down the line. I'm building a skill. I'm committing to the craft. I'm learning the craft of how to sell insurance over the phone. Because what I've realized over the past year is that selling over the phone is a one percenter thing. Like that is a 1% person, like 1% of the industry, because only 1% can really actually do that. And that's going to create the freedom that you want, the time and money freedom, the freedom to be able to travel wherever you want and do whatever you want. As I'm going to New Mexico, I'm going out of the country, like I'm doing these things and I'm still able to sell if I want to, or I can't. I could just not, right? So um what I learned is I wasn't good enough, and I still am not great, honestly. Like I'm still learning, but what I want to share with you is if you're just starting out, like you're not going to be good. And the only way that you get so undeniably not bad that you actually become good is actually by doing the reps, putting in the activity, doing the things that actually feel boring. For me, I've been making a ton of content recently that's actually going to be dropped here in uh, in a few weeks, which I'm super excited about. So definitely subscribe down below, put the post notifications on because we got a lot of cool stuff coming on, and hiring a social media guy that's really helping edit my videos, and it's definitely going really well. But I realized that like I love Alex Hormozy, what he says, like doing the boring work, do the thing that like feels really tough and challenging. It's very simple. It doesn't feel challenging, but doing it is, right? So for whatever that is for you, whether that's running dials, like making dials, running appointments, whatever that actually looks like for you, um, do the boring work. Do the thing that really is challenging. For me, like writing a script for a video or writing things that just it's challenging, but I genuinely want to bring the most value possible. And what that takes is spending 5, 6, 7 hours actually putting my thoughts together. How do I want to compile this message so I'm able to help so many more people? So, one, do the revenue generating activities. Two, you're not special. You're not just this, you're not going to be good right away. You're not going to be making 10 grand a month right away. It's going to take time. But once you get to that six-figure mark where you're constantly making like $10,000 a month, it definitely gets a lot easier because one, you're starting to um, predict how do you get to a specific income. And this reminds me of this podcast I just got done with Carson Porter, and he was sharing just how important it is when you're scaling a business to have systems and processes in place, solidified. So for you, I want to ask you a question: like, do you have your systems in place that you can predictably where you can actually predict your income, where you can actually predict how much money you're going to make, how much are you actually going to take home in the year? Do you actually have systems in place to be able to do that? That's a question that I want to ask you because it's challenge. Like I didn't have any systems my first year. I was just kind of going with the flow. If I did 20 grand in a week, I was excited. It was hype. And then all of a sudden, like boom, it just fell off because I thought I was better than I was. Then I stopped running the appointments. I stopped doing the dials because I was like, oh, I did it. I'm already at what I was trying to do for the month in a week. So I can cruise the next 3 weeks. I can do all these things that honestly didn't matter. And so when you guys are starting out, don't convince yourself that you're smarter than you are. And so I actually built out a Facebook community of like-minded individuals. Drop down below, click the link below. It's in the comments or in the description. I genuinely want to help you guys. I'm sharing my lessons, failures, the things that I've actually learned in the industry to start making 20, 30, 40, or not even 40 grand yet, but making multiple 5 figures a month by doing the reps, putting in the activity. Not convincing myself that I actually am smarter than I am. So um, go check that out. Click the link below and apply to my Facebook group or community of insurance agents where I teach people pretty much how to sell over the phone and just how to market, how to sell, the practical ways to actually start making money in this business. Because I didn't do it definitely my first year. It was very challenging. It was very hard. It's very difficult. And I don't want you to be one of those. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching till the end of this video. Share this with a friend, and I'll see you guys on the next one and in that community.